is there a specific either a type of paint or a paint color that's very, very popular among these rental properties
Yeah.
that you see in Moncton?
Absolutely. So, and it's just, I would suggest it, and it's maybe not the most popular color across the Moncton, but I understand the concept. You want to brighten these places up. You want to make sure that things look clean and fresh when you buy a new home. It's the same process, like as if someone was buying a home. My suggestion would be to stick with a brighter type of gray or off-white type of color, not too light. Because obviously, if there's going to be work going on, you want to be able to keep these things looking fresh and clean until a sale or a rental. The other thing I would mention too, we could probably mention, is not the best idea to go with the cheapest paint on the market. I mean, it seems simple. Hey, we just want to paint it. It's just paint. But the best idea is to go with something that's going to give you good coverage and decent washability. Right? And that's what I always recommend. Like, we don't want to go to the bottom barrel because you might need to wash these walls a little bit before a sale goes up, for whatever the property is designed to do. But you want to have faith in the product that's on the wall. I mean, if you're going to use quality appliances, you're going to use quality finishes. Don't skimp on the paint, right? So it doesn't mean we have to go with the Cadillac of all paints, but let's what is this space going to be used for? Let's put something that's going to hold up over time. So
That totally makes sense. Yeah. So what are the exact colors and what are the product names for them, right? So
Yeah.
I know for us, our contractor, Matt actually recommended us, designer gray. So that's
Designer gray, very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
very
for
popular.
my funny story, for my first property ever, I bought it with my mother.
Yeah.
It's a little duplex in Montreal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't a real estate investor.
Right, sure.
I bought it with emotions, and my mom had her emotions invested.
Of course.
In it. Every single room, we're talking there are 3 bedrooms up, 2 bedrooms down, the basement. Every single room we had a different color.
Oh yeah.
Every single room has a different
So every room has a gallon of paint just sitting there waiting for it.
That's
Exactly.
right. Exactly. So there's
choice.
Yeah.
there's just a gallon of paint that's unfinished, right? Sitting in our basement
Yes.
right now, and we don't know what
Right.
know
What can
to
be
do
what can be done with it? Right after
That's
that.
right.
Right. What can be done?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the key is not necessarily that it has to be a particular color.
Yeah.
It's just that you maintain sort of that continuity throughout a project. Because I mean, let's be honest. If we're purchasing a property, I mean, obviously cost is a major player in this, right? So if we can avoid excess costs by, let's say, letting our emotions take control of what our plans are, we don't have to have an accent wall necessarily right now. We don't have to have the bedroom one shade lighter than the living room. So that's what I like. For instance, one of the colors I'd recommend is a color called light French gray. Very light, calming kind of gray color, brightens things up a bit, not too dark. Hides handprints or whatnot pretty decently. But still you get that clean, fresh look to it, right? So it's designer gray. I mean, you could go with that every day. I think most of the properties in Moncton are painted with designer gray.
Really?
But it's nice to switch it up a little bit. But I think you're in the right realm when you're doing with something like that. Sometimes what I've seen lately is people, like, maybe it is the emotion or HGTV or some of these shows popping into it. They're going full whites in some of these rental units or some of these properties they're flipping, and it can be dangerous. I mean,
That gets dirty very
it can be
easily.
dirty fast. I mean, if we're not using a quality paint, it's going to mark up. There's a lot of issues that can come into that. So if you can just give it a little bit of something, it's something that people can picture their own stuff in too. That's the key too. And a light gray color will do that.
Or at least just finishing the entire project and painting last if you're doing white. Because for us, like, painting is not necessarily the last thing. We do it in conjunctions with other things.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
we get cleaner to clean up.
Absolutely.
If we did all white, I can already imagine all the dust that's gonna
Right. If you're
stick
doing
to it,
a
all
full
the
reno,
prints and-
you're gonna have the trades
Yeah.
coming through constantly. Even the electrician might have to come back in at the end. We all know they're not too concerned about the next trade, the next thing, right? So they're doing their job and they're not concerned about what the painter might have to do. But that's where we try to limit those issues, right?